Mr. Brown is back, and this time we're going to give a little review of the difference between factors and multiples with a little bit of prime and composite review. This is going to be on your upcoming assessment. That's a fancy word for quiz. So here's what I want you to do. Get a different brand new piece of white paper. Have it going the tall way, the Hamburg way. Put your name on the upper left-hand corner, just like the last video that you watched of mine. I am going to have you copy information on the front that Mr. Brown does, and on the back, I'm going to have work just for you that you are going to be doing on your own. And I might have a little hidden surprise in here every once in a while, okay? So let's see. Let's start off with factor, shall we? Let's write the word factor. F-A-C-T-O-R. Again, as I say every single time, please, 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 pause this video as many times as you need to, okay? Write this down. We're going to start with something like a 12, okay? Now, remember Mr. Brown has said many, many times, factor times factor equals product. They're the two numbers that you multiply together to get a product. In this case, it's 12, okay? Now, let's list as many factors as we can for the number 12, okay? So we should always start off with whatever 1 times that number. 1 times every single number gives you itself, right? It's the ones rule. So we should always start off with 1 times that number, 1 times 12. Please write this down. And then we'll go up the line. What about 2? Well, okay, yeah, we can do a 2. 2 times 6. There are also factors. Now, notice, because I've done 2 times 6, I cannot do 6 times 2. No turnarounds, please, okay? After that, how about a 3? Oh, yeah, we can do 3. 3 times 4 is also a multiple of 12. So all 6 of these numbers, if I were to list them in order, I would probably want to list them from like, go 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. I list them in order. So on the upcoming assessment, you might see something like, oh, I don't know, is, 3 and 8, are they multiples of 12? No, they're not. 3 times 8 does not give you 12. So they might ask you, like, which ones are factors. I said factors. Which ones are factors, I'm sorry, and which ones are not factors. So you could be asked either question, okay? Speaking of multiples, because I think I accidentally just said that, let's talk about multiples. Multiples are really just skip counting by a number, right? M-U-L-T-I-P-L-E-S. So please write multiples on your paper as well. And multiples just skip counting, right? So you can, you've been skip counting since you were in kindergarten, right? 5, 10, 15, 20. We've been skip counting for years, right? Maybe even, I don't know, maybe even pre-K if you went there. So if I were to ask you, is 18 a multiple, I'll do an abbreviation, of, I don't know, is it a multiple of 4? And it'll be a yes or no question. Well, the easiest way to do that is that we can list our multiples of 4, right? So let's do that, right? We always start with the number itself, 4. All right, it's 4 times 1. 4 times 2 is 8. Okay. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 4 is 16. Again, pause this video as many times as you wish. 4 times 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times 5 is 20. Now, we can already see that we've gone past the point where we know that 18 is not, okay, is not a multiple of 4, okay? So just skip count by that number and say, hey, now these are all the possible, now multiples go on forever, right? So you got to stop at a certain point, but skip count by that number or use your multiplication facts, 4 times 1, 4 times 2, 4 times 3, 4 times 4, and keep going on to see, you might see something on your quiz like that. Is this a multiple, yes or no? Some numbers get a little bit fancy, right? And the only way you can get to them is by multiplying a 1 and that number, right? It's a little further down your paper. All right, so they only have 2 factors, 1 and themselves. 1 times 3 is an example of that, and 1 times 7 is an example of that. And I'll bet you know what these ones are called. They're called prime numbers. A prime number only has 2 factors. Other examples of primes are, oh, I don't know, probably like a 2 and maybe like how about a 9? You think a 9 would be a prime? No, cross that out. A 9 is not a prime number because you could also use 3 times 3 to get it. It has more than 2 factors, so we don't want that on the list. But how about 11? Sure. How about 13? Yes, and there's quite a few primes. But for as many primes as there are way more composites. And composites are like the number 9 that have more than 2. So let's write down the word composites. C-O-M-P-O-S-I-T-E. Did I spell that wrong? Oh, that's so funny. Composite. This is how you know that I only do this in one take. I don't do multiple takes in my videos. If I make a mistake, kids, it's staying in there, and that's just the Mr. Brown way. So there's so many that are right. Usually all even numbers except for 2 are composites. So you could list any even number you wanted to. I don't know, a 6 or an 8 or a 10. Whatever. They're all even numbers. And there are also some odds that are also composite, like 21 or 15 and things like that. So now let's get to the time where we flip our paper over. And now I want you to do a couple of things on your own. Okay, so flip your paper over. And here's what I want you to do. On your own, and you may get a multiplication chart to help you if you wish. I want you to list all the factors of the number 24. And I'll even give you a hint. There's this many. Blank times blank, blank times blank, blank times blank, and blank times blank. And since I'm feeling in a particularly generous mood, I'll even give you the first one. It's 1 times 24. You find the other 3. So list all the different ways that you can get 24 other than 1 times 24, and that will list all the factors. If you really want to impress Mr. Brown, you can put them in order afterwards from least to greatest. Hey, folks, are you paying attention to this? Are you? Are you listening? Prove it. At the top of your paper right there, draw a picture of a tree. Draw a simple picture of a tree right there to see that, so I can tell that you're paying attention. Draw a picture of a tree right there right now. And that way when I look at your papers, I'll say, oh, I see that tree. I see that so-and-so was paying attention. Again, pause it as many times as you wish because I want you to do more than one thing on your own. Then I want you to list, how about the first 10 multiples of the number 3. Okay, so start with the number 3, comma, 3, skip count by 3, 3 times 1, 3 times 2, 3 times 3, the first 10, please. Do that on the back of your paper. You can do that. Last but smurfingly not least, I want you to list 5 prime numbers. You can rewind the video. You can flip your paper over. I don't care. Oh, I do care, but. And then I want you to list 5 composite. If you really want to razzle-dazzle me, I don't know why I just did a straight line like that. I want 5 of them. And if you really want to razzle-dazzle me, you could actually do examples that are different than these ones. Or if you're like, listen, man, I don't know, you can do those ones too. So those are the ones I want you to do on your own, okay? Listing all factors of 24, listing the first 10 multiples of 3, listing 5 primes, any 5 primes, and any prime composites. Folks, I hope you are having a wonderful day, and I know that you are trying your best. Remember that these papers are going to be collected, and I'm going to look at them, so make sure that every paper from today has your name on it. And folks, have a good day. I miss you, and I'll see you later.